place at the right time.
Really?
At least I'm trying things.
Take showers in it?
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching. And the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. I hope you enjoyed last week's interview, which is like almost on the year anniversary of our first composer, our second music composer with Nathan First, and which was so cool when Jamie reached out to him. The last names, you don't think about it, but we interviewed his brother last spring, Griffin First, and they are both sons of legendary comedic actor Stephen First. You know him as Flounder in Animal House. When I talked to Nathan, I had to tell him, your dad changed it. Like everything about comedic movies, like every movie when you watch it, you say, oh, he's like the Flounder of this. Like that's that guy, the fat, funny guy. But lots of fun, great interview. Loved talking to him about the different levels of films you could work on and the taboo of doing a sci-fi movie, and so much fun, man. Great chat. But wow. This movie, man. So the sequel that we're covering is 12 Rounds 2, Reloaded, and it's perfect timing because this Saturday is Royal Rumble, if you're listening to this when this comes out, but whenever you're listening to it, it's January 2024, and Randy Orton could be, and he's the star of this movie, which is, to me, crazy. But before I talk about any of these rounds, which I guess we'll have to go through it round by round. I can tell you one round, I think they forgot to film a scene, so they set a line to get rid of a round, which is pretty funny. But my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing great, Doug. How are you doing?
This not good.
Okay.
This movie took me the longest I've ever done. I even started a few days before because the football game's on Sunday night. So on Saturday, I started watching it, fell asleep. Sunday night, started watching it, fell asleep. Monday night,
it took you 12 rounds to watch it.
It took me, yes. And then I finished it while I was eating lunch today during work. So that's how this movie went. And I'm sure you had a similar experience of this movie.
Well, you may be shocked. So,
wow.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't even consider this a sequel because it's almost like it was like a redo. Like, isn't it? It's like the same story of the first movie, except he was a cop in the first movie. It's almost the same story. So it's not. I mean,
a lot of sequels are like that.
Yeah, but not even having one character from the first movie. Like, isn't that kind of like a rule? So okay. Yeah. So here's my take on the movie. So I have the good and the bad, right? So I'm gonna go start off the bad. The movie's not good, right? The movie's not good. Norton. Okay. The acting is not great. There's so many ridiculous things that really don't make sense that they threw together. And again, it's not a bad movie. Now the good part, and this is where we're gonna be different. I thought the movie didn't move fast. Like the action starts in the beginning and it doesn't stop throughout the whole movie. So the movie did not drag for me. And it didn't feel like an hour and a half. It actually moved. So
wow.
So it's not a bad movie. Sorry, it is a bad movie, but at least it was a moving bad movie. Moving bad movie. So that's where I look at it. So again, I didn't feel like I was, stopping, go. A lot of the movies I do stop a lot and take a couple of rounds. This one was a 1 round knockout. 1 round
TKO. I like it.
Yeah.
And we can't be talking. We haven't covered a lot of action sequels in the last year. And I think it's like we can't do it without our guest. I can't even think of I couldn't even name all the sequels, but I just remember memories that we've had of Under Siege 2. That's probably my favorite one of Seagal taking it upon himself to start cooking on the train, and he's like a professional cook, and he throws something in the microwave and says it's in God's hands now. And of course, I'm talking about our action sequel expert, Andrew. He's got the power. Andrew, how you doing, man?
Great, Doug and Jamie. Happy to be here. Great to be back.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I feel like it's been a while, so this is good.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. The last one we've done, I can't remember. I mean, we had a long hiatus, but we're back in action now.
We are back in action. I can't think of the last one. What would it have been? I don't even know.
Well, I think the last one involved a lot of bottles that Andrew was throwing in his place.
Wait, it was the Jessica Alba one. What was the Jessica Alba one?
Oh, Mechanic 2? Really? That was that one?
Oh my
That seems
gosh.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, what was your take on this? Like,
It was a very nice Die Hard 3 Enemy of the State Law Abiding Citizen ripoff. It was. I agree with Jamie. It was fast paced. It was nice cut, hour and a half in and out. The dialogue was terrible. I think this was written by Vince McMahon right before they started shooting. They probably had a great script going together, and then Vince read it right before they shot and tore it up. And wrote all new lines and went, all right, this is good shit. Let's do this. That's what I feel like he did.
And you know, you look at Randy. He's a big dude. Seeing him in an EMT outfit, it just didn't fit. Like just looked like I mean, thank goodness I never needed an EMT. You know, at any point, but it just looked like. Like it would be better off if he was some kind of cop or something. I don't know. It's like it just didn't fit him as an EMT.
And I was always waiting for the part. I don't want to spoil anything, but I was always waiting for the part where they would say, you know, he was former CIA,
exactly,
like taking this job.
Yes.
Never happened. He was just an EMT the whole damn movie.
But he's very good with a gun. So somehow
I know. Why couldn't they? I wrote that down like so many times throughout this movie. Like. I get it. There's sometimes that you feel like, hey, we can't go too far into a backstory. Just give exposition. Just have him talking to the cop, talking to someone, even the guy in the opening scene talking about like, oh yeah, does this remind you of Iraq? Something. But when he grabs the gun and in one shot takes out the security camera, I'm like, no.
There's even more to that with the car scene when he's shooting also. So we'll get to that.
Oh my
gosh. Okay, so here's to me the biggest few problems that I have with this movie. So one, the bad guy relies on a lot of luck.
Oh, Dr. Evil? You mean Dr.
Evil? Yeah, right. So he relies on a lot of luck for his plan. That's one. Two, Orton. He must have I don't know how many laws did he break in this movie.
Oh, I know
that she should have been arrested at the end of the movie. I don't care what happens. And a lot of this could have been avoided because there was a point. So in the beginning of the movie, and again, this is just starting the movie, you know, whatever his wife is being kidnapped. But there was a point when the game started before the wife was kidnapped. The cops went to the wife's house. Knowing that this is that the wife's in danger, why didn't they just grab her and like protect her instead of leaving her home and giving the guy, which again, I don't know how he had time to leave his lair, pick up the wife and go back because she was only kidnapped at the end of the movie.
Well, maybe he had a henchman go grab her, but no, even in that part was shady, which I know it's a little far ahead, but when the cops go talk to her, the detective and the young guy, when she closes the door when they leave and she looks sad, and in my head I'm like, oh, there's a bad guy there this whole time, because there's another time they show her in the kitchen, she looks like kind of scared, but no, nothing. Like there should be another henchman there. No, 100%. Dr. Evil left his lair with his lair has a million TVs, a state-of-the-art equipment, but he's stepping in puddles. There's puddles on the ground.
And how far away is the lair that he had enough time, because he kept talking to him the entire time. First of all, he somehow has cameras everywhere, and he's able to know exactly. No helpers.
The dumbest part.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of dumb parts. I don't know if that's the dumbest one. There's a lot. I mean, his whole plan is pretty dumb. I mean, if he just wants revenge, just he can just kill them right away, right in the beginning. Like, why the game? Like, the game makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. He's
somebody that nobody played with as a kid. No. And he's like, come on, Nick, you got to play with me. That's like his whole thing. But even the first, so let's see while we're talking about the movie, since it's called 12 rounds, we could find 12 mistakes or 12. And I'll tell you the first one in the beginning of the movie, which it was so dumb. And I don't know why they did it. Maybe they did it because they needed to shoot a crash scene. and didn't want to spend the money, maybe like blocking off a city block for damage or something. But the opening scene, the fact they're leaving the movie theater, right? A movie theater is usually where there's like people. They're walking in like an industrial area with their car, like it wasn't even like in sight. And they're complaining about this rom-com, and then we see the accident that like sets up the whole entire movie.
Hold on. There wasn't anyone else leaving the movie theater, I don't think. They were the only ones.
They weren't even near a movie theater. That's what I mean. They were walking. It's like they chose to. Maybe Randy Orton's like cheap. Throw an exposition there. Okay. You didn't have to spend $50 on parking. Something stupid. No, we just see them walk into this desolate area with no one.
And let's be honest, there's no one in the whole movie. There's literally like there's never cars on the road.
Extras.
Like I mean, there's no. It's just cop cars. That's it.
Cars.
Yeah, that's it. So and he's an EMT, right? So he sees accidents all the time. I'm sure not everybody makes it. Why is this accident any different than all the other ones he has that this disturbed him a year later? Like this is still bothering him a year later when he's done the same thing. That's his job. Like, so I'm sure it's not every time. It doesn't always work out. Like, why is this one affecting him so much?
Can we talk about the accident too?
Yeah.
Like, because you see two cars and they crash into each other, right?
I know what you're
saying. And then it pans away, and then it comes back, and they're on fire. They're flipped over. And I go, where the hell does rocket-propelled grenade come from? Because there's no way that happened.
No way.
Where did this shit go?
Okay, maybe one car, if it hit the side, maybe hit the curb or something like that, maybe one car could have flipped. Not both of them. Like, there's no way that with all that damage, the fires and everything else, and it didn't even look like they were going that fast.
No.
To have that kind of crash.
Yeah. Well, I have a clip for later that's supposed to be like a chase scene. It's like a crawl scene. They're barely moving in the whole scene.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my God, so dumb, man.
Yeah.
But no. The one thing, again, this was exposition that they should, because this was like an important part of the movie that they shouldn't have done a throwaway line. I think he got in trouble or something. Not like in trouble, like he lost his job as an EMT. It's like he didn't follow some kind of protocol or something stupid. Because I think that's what was sort of like haunting him. But I feel like it was like one throwaway line, because that's the dumbest part about this movie is Dr. Evil is angry because he saved someone. How would he know? Oh, wait, I see bodies, I see cars. Let me think back. Oh, which car was causing that accident? No, you just save whoever you can. And that's all he did.
Yeah, I know. He did his job. I mean, like, and how does he not recognize Tommy? Because he saves him. I mean, so, and again, I understand if he's an EMT, he sees a lot of accidents, but this one in particular is the one that's haunting him. So you would think that he would recognize everybody there. So like he should recognize Tommy right away.
Tommy, that guy was such a typical governor's son.
Oh, without it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Can we go back to Dr. Evil for a second though? So,
yes,
when we are first introduced to him, right, he's standing in his lair and you just see the bald head, right? And I'm thinking, oh, this is WWE Studios, right? And I'm thinking, here comes Jim Ross. Here comes Jim Ross. Oh God, it's the rattlesnake. And then they show his face, and it's just this goofy fuck. And I'm like, oh God, like that was such a great opportunity that they just missed it.
You know what, Andrew? I'm gonna say something right now. I didn't like this movie at all, and I think this, like you said, the script is horrible. Like ChatGPT, like that could have wrote this. That's how bad it is if they put it together like all of the Die Hard 3 knockoffs, because that's what I thought about when I watched this movie. And I'm sure there's so many other ripoffs that you don't think of, but this one is so like, yeah, get to this phone booth in time. And you're like, oh, I've seen this before. Maybe he got inspired by Die Hard 3, but he wasn't bad. I think the lines are really corny, but I think like he did an okay job. Like, I don't know. I wish he had henchmen. It was weird to see this guy who they didn't mention. I forgot what his career was because they kind of mentioned it in one spot, but
it was something with IT.
It was okay, so that makes sense,
or something like that. So yeah, but I mean, he's not advanced, to do everything he did in this movie.
Yeah.
But I agree with you 100%. I actually think he did a good for being alone as the main villain. I think he did very well with his yelling, his passion for what he's trying to do. He did a good job, so I agree with you. But without a doubt, why does he not have anyone helping him? That seems impossible. Like, and he knows again, if he is a computer guy, and I think it's something to do with computer or whatever, he could do a lot more than just that, because again, when we get to the phone scene inside the guy, how does that happen? Like, he can also do surgery, this guy?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's why he should have henchmen. He should have someone. It would have made so much more sense, because that scene. And then the end when he pieces everything together, that was like so ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the revenge factor. There's like some people that he shouldn't even know, like, or find. Like, how do you find a valet? How does he know who's parking the car that day or whatever? The first guy, like, he's able to do so much. And again, his plan is the 12 rounds. Most of it is luck. It really is like he has to make sure that this person's here at this right time. The camera's right there, and nobody in any of these businesses notice a random camera just on their building.
I know. Well, some clearly backing into, but you're right. There was like one that was so. Oh no! Remember when he had the one in the clock? So he knew the governor's son was gonna be with the prostitute in that one room that he put, or does he have a camera in every clock?
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned it, because what if, for whatever reason, the son decided to go to a different hotel? So the plan's over. The plan's done.
Yeah,
like, all right,
the movie's over.
The movie's over. I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous. And again, his hacking skills, ridiculous. Like, it's just like he's able to do everything. Like, he should be working for the government then, which which he wasn't. Like, yeah. Okay.
Oh man! Before we get into because the movie starts next, the one line. This is why I made it seem like that I felt that he messed something up on that scene, which they didn't really talk about it. But she said the line of, "You're not that guy anymore, Nick. It's okay. It's been a year." So I'm like, well, "What guy are you?" He was a hero.
Yeah, so that's almost like insulting. Like, you're not the hero anymore. Okay, yeah, that made no sense at all. That made no sense.
Oh my gosh!
Okay,
this opening scene when he gets the first phone call. And again, why is he answering the phone? What does it say on the caller ID? Doesn't it say unknown or
maybe?
Well,
why would that make him answer?
The phone was on the guy, right? It was on the guy with the bomb in his stomach, right? Wasn't that where the phone was?
Oh,
no, because he knew to go there. He knew to go there.
Oh, wait. We're talking about the hotel, or are we talking about the
No. The guy with the guy.
We're on round one. We're on round one.
Yeah. Okay, so we're past that. Good.
So he got a call to go to the spot where the guy was hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. And he knew that they were going to get the call. Again, they could have been getting coffee at that point. Somebody else. Like you said, it's like Scream.
It is.
People got to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Or Ghostface wouldn't kill people. No, but
when they do go there and they see the guy with the phone in his chest, they don't seem that concerned about it. Like, that's not normal. Like, I mean, and it looked like it was lit up. Like, it literally there was lights coming through his chest. So they didn't even question that. They were just looking, and they're treating him like he was hit by a car or something like that. That's to me, that should be a sign of all right, there's something fishy going on. I mean, this guy has a phone sewn into his chest. I mean,
and he's lighting up like he's a doll or something.
Did he have scars there, or it was just his phone? It looked like it was just the phone in there. Like, you would think there would be mangled stars in the square where he pulled out he did his surgery. I feel like it looked like he swallowed it. Like that, it looks like there's
or Dr. Evil is a world-renowned surgeon, and he's so good at making it so you don't see any stitches or something. But no, they weren't even alarmed. And the fact that he answered the phone, and that's okay.
And he left the scene of helping this guy to answer the phone. Okay. And how did the guy get there? Was he dropped off by?
I'm guessing Dr. Evil. But who dropped him off? You're telling me is this whole movie take place within a block. So he was able to drop that guy up, call 911 and say, hey, there's this weird guy in the alley, and then get back to his lair because he's in his lair.
Yes.
Throughout the rest of the movie until he has to move to a
balcony. Do you think the guy with the phone in his chest used that phone to call?
Yeah, could you imagine? Yeah, he sews him up and he 911 speakerphone zip. And then
okay, all right.
He puts his Dr. Evil's head's on the guy's stomach and he's like, "Yeah, I'm over on so and so." But just the fact that he gets out of the ambulance and he's having this conversation, he realizes this guy can see him, which would freak me out. He seemed very calm, and then what does he say? He does a countdown, or just does he even give a warning?
He gives him some, I forget too, because he gave him some kind of warning so he can yell to his buddy, which when he does yell to his buddy, he doesn't seem that concerned. Like he's like,
I know.
He's like walking out. First of all, he couldn't hear, fine. But then when he finally hears, he gets out and he's still walking. You can see that Ort is screaming, like, move. And the guy's like, huh? Like he was just acting so stupid.
Huh?
Like,
what?
Yeah. I mean, again, You're talking about a guy that has a cell phone inside of his body that's like protruding. And your buddy's screaming at you to run. You know, maybe you should run.
Yeah. Then he's on fire. His face is burnt. Then we don't see him for the rest of the movie.
No. But he's still alive, supposedly.
He presumes he's alive. He's a presumes.
Right. Yeah.
No idea. I mean, he didn't even wait for help to come. He just left him. So I'll see you later. But that what a good partner.
Now, does he know at this point? Does he know at this point that his wife is in danger?
Yeah, he mentions it right away.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil mentions that right away.
So why didn't he quickly drive to his home and just make sure, like, tell his wife to go somewhere else or something like that?
Well, I think this is when he started the game. Like, we're gonna play a game.
No, right.
He starts driving, and then he tells him about the bomb, right?
But he doesn't know that his wife. I mean, his wife's home yet. Like he didn't. He said something could happen to your wife, so go straight home.
Well, I guess once somehow the bomb was on the car, he didn't want to bring a bomb to his house.
All right, you can't call, say get out of the house as soon as you can. I mean, he could have given her some warning or something. But all right.
So this is started around 2. The second silliest thing was, I know sometimes people can escape in the nick of time, but when he's running out, he runs out of the fence, and the cop car, the other ambulance and cop cars pull like right past him, and like you can see their lights on him, and I'm like, oh, they wouldn't think it's suspicious that a guy's running from a bomb that just went off and nothing.
And he's very easy to spot. He's a big dude. So I mean, like, that's even worse. Like, it's like, why is this guy running, from something? Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God, dude. He has so many lines like the bad guy. I tried to write down, I didn't want to do too many, but one he says to him, hey, I have your wife and you need to settle up, right? Because remember, it was all about writing the scales.
Writing the scales.
Balancing the scales. And then he says, we're going to play a game. And then one line he says, because Randy Orton says like a blow off line to me. He goes, that's exactly what it did to me. And he starts like yelling. I'm like, wow, dude, he
does a lot of yelling in the movie. He does do a lot of yelling.
He has some good lines, man. I think he did a bang up job. I've never seen him in anything else. Maybe this is like his one shot. Again, it's for WIB Studios, not like trashing it, but I'm sure a lot of times if you nail the role, I don't know if you're going to go up to the next thing, but he was good. I thought he was a lot better than I thought.
How many people watch this movie? I mean, I guess enough people that they made a third one. So.
Yeah, and who's in the the third one is Dean Ambrose.
Who's that? Is that another wrestler?
Another wrestler, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Just like the Marine 3 and 4 is like, one of them was
The Miz,
The Miz, but was Mr. Kennedy in one of these movies? I feel like Mr. Kennedy was in one of these movies. I don't know which one.
I think The Miz was in a few Marines. I think he. I still laugh that he started off in the MTV challenge. Road
Real
rules,
World.
and it's amazing. Real World. All right.
Unreal. So so now we're on when he's in round 2. So this is where he has. Oh wait, you know what? We forgot. So how is he able to get the video feed? Is it on the cell phone, or is he, or do we see Dr. Evil just watching the screen, but there's a gun that's pointing at the wife in the house. Right?
No, there wasn't. No, because the cops didn't even go there yet. There was no. I don't think that. I think the wife has been fine all this time.
Yeah. I
never sensed she was in danger once.
No, I know, but I thought there was something of the guy looking at it. Maybe not. I don't know what the hell.
You know, I got to tell you, these clues that he gets in this movie, there's no way he figures them out.
Oh, I know.
Three matches. Oh, round 3. There must be, or the, like all these clues that he figures out. There's no way, that he which room he finds exactly the room he needs to go to.
I could guess that one because it was really easy. The guy made it pretty easy. It's round 4, the 4th floor, room 44.
Okay. So he knew. Wait, he knew the guys what's around his neck. That's what you got to grab.
Well, no, I don't think that. Or the tattoo.
Okay, so
he sees the tattoo on his arm.
Okay,
how about when he grabs the glove? The glove's my favorite one. He's like, "Give me that," and he grabs it, and he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This must be round 5. I'm like, no.
Don't all gloves have 5?
I know. He had to count it.
Wait a second. Do they sell gloves if people have missing fingers?
I would hope so. I would custom.
So if someone has like fingers, like if they're missing like the 2 middle fingers but have the 2 outside, you think they sell gloves like this?
Yeah, devil horns, man.
Okay, all right,
they have to do that. I'm sure if somebody has one leg, I'm sure
they have to. Where have you seen it? Have you ever seen it anywhere?
I'm sure a specialty store.
I've seen gloves on displays everywhere. Never seen any less than 5 fingers. Or unless they're a mitten.
The mitten combos.
Oh, that's how you do it. So the mittens have it right. Like a mitten you can sell to anyone. Gloves you really can't because then you have it's like flapping in the wind.
I want to know who invented the mitten because like I feel like it's the dumbest thing ever. You can't do anything with the mitten. You can't pick up anything. You can't do anything with the mitten. Like what was the point of that? Like why couldn't they make that into a hand? The mitten is awful.
Maybe they weren't good at sewing the fingers and they just gave up. They're like, let me close it off. And somebody's like, hey, that's not too bad.
Okay. I don't know. I think the mitten is worthless. Because once you get one mitten on, it's hard to get the other one on because you don't have any fingers.
Yeah.
All right.
So we alluded to this earlier, but like the next round is when he is in the car. Right? Is he in the car right away? Or is this when
he's in the car and then he gets he's in the car and then he gets
right?
No, well, he gets out of the car in the street first because then he starts looking for the bomb.
Oh, okay.
And then the guy somehow, again, exactly where he stopped, the guy knew, Dr. Evil knew that he stopped in the middle of the road. Like,
he did,
I want to know how many cameras this guy put up. And I know that I think they said that he, I guess he quit his job, he took a severance and like put all his money into this. So his plan was, after his wife died, is to spend all his money on electronics and cameras.
Revenge.
Yeah, and then killing himself in a fiery glory.
So he became a mass murderer because his wife died from a car accident.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
She'd be proud.
When he said that later in the movie, that like, so you're talking about these 2 psychopaths that were married. And so this is not their first killer because I mean like this is what she would want me to kill a kid and his father and like the whole it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then this is where and then once he tells him to finally get back in the car, I'm gonna hurt your wife, and then Randy Orton's like a stunt driver because he does like a sweet turn.
Yeah.
And then it parks right in front of the hotel, right? So
how did he know to go to the hotel? Was that the matches?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, but that was going. So was round 3 just getting to the hotel?
I think so. I think it was. Because round 1 was definitely the ambulance. Was round 2 finding the car? Maybe round 2 was finding the car.
His rounds all blended in together because I feel like there's some.
Yeah, he doesn't understand. I would think one round would be like a full thing. Like getting in the car and going somewhere,
like in Die Hard 3. Die Hard 3, like each round was something very specific, and they like this is like literally okay. Round 1, the ambulance. Round 2, just driving. Round 3, finding the hotel. Round 4 is in the hotel. Like they did just go too quickly, and I don't even recall did he ever do all 12 rounds? Because I feel like there was a couple rounds that might have been missed.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about the one that was sort of missed.
I feel like he just he stopped doing rounds at a certain point. So okay. Okay.
Oh my God, this hotel, Andrew. How much do you think they charge per hour at this weird hotel? It was bizarre.
Downtown Chinatown. I think that was probably like $10 an hour. I mean that.
$10 an hour.
Yeah, I can't.
And again, you know, all these creepy hotels always have like some kind of idiot behind the counter, like just
always. This is like a college douchebag, like 20-year-old.
Always. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
like,
okay,
sorry, man.
So you're telling me Dr. Evil got this guy involved also because he had to flaunt the key or whatever that's around his neck. So how did he get this guy involved? Like,
I would love to see that. Like I said this when we talked about Scream 2 last. I kind of would love to see. Maybe some people don't want to. Yes, like see him walk up and be like, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Dr. Evil, and here's $50. Put this around your neck. Some guy, my buddy's gonna come here. We're gonna mess with him a little bit. Like maybe something like that. Nothing.
But the kid seems clueless about what happens later. So like I want to know what the conversation was that this kid knows that. All right, there's gonna be a guy looking for a key. It's like a game we're playing, and like because he looks completely clueless about the whole thing.
Yeah, and what? It would make sense if he was involved because it takes away what we said earlier. How did he know what room to use?
Yep.
Again, he still has to go to that hotel. So maybe he convinced the hooker to get this guy to go to this hotel. He tells the guy at the desk, "Hey, when this kid comes in, room 44." Like there's so many things. He had to convince so many people. And I bet you some of these things he'd be like, "Oh shit, I forgot to talk to the other guy, the doorman. I gotta get everybody involved."
Ridiculous. And how did he know that Tommy had a tattoo of a smiley face?
I know.
Because he had the exact the smiley face on the door.
Oh yeah.
It was on the do not.
Maybe he did that purposely. So maybe
But how did he know?
He's such a drug alcoholic. He's like, "Oh, smiley face room, cool."
Okay. The only time he would have met Tommy, it was probably in court. And Tommy, I'm sure, was not flaunting his smiley face tattoo. So how would he know that he's got a smiley face tattoo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram? Probably his beach photos on Instagram or something. Dr. Evil was like, "All right, smiley face." Jamie, this isn't like the 40s or 50s. It's like, how did they figure that out? It's like, oh, people post everything now. You're like, oh, where's he have a mole?
I don't know. Dr. Evil doesn't seem the type to go on Instagram.
He's a Twitter guy.
No, he's more MySpace.
You
have to give it to him though. He is the ultimate cock block, right? Because that guy was. I mean, he didn't even get it in. He was like, he was in the foreplay, so he didn't even let him finish. He cock blocked him like pre activity. That was really a dick move.
How did he know that was what he needed? Was him? How did he know it wasn't the girl?
Well, he saw the tattoo in the arm.
Oh, he did see that.
That's what. Because he started rummaging through the room and throwing shit around, and then
right.
And then, Dr. Evil gave a line. He said, "Sometimes here's a clue. Sometimes what you're looking for is staring you right in the face." And the kid was looking at him, and then he saw the tattoo on his arm.
Oh, he did. See, I didn't think he saw the tattoo. Okay.
Yeah.
Guess. I mean, he just guessed a lot in this whole damn movie.
No, he 100% guessed a lot. But he never guessed wrong. He always guessed right throughout the whole movie.
He nailed it every time.
He did. I love how Tommy started acting tough to him. When Tommy's a skinny little guy. I mean, first of all, Norton did throw him around a little bit, and then he's acting tough to him. Like, what is he gonna do? Yeah. Okay.
My God, man. But then, the only thing that does make it a little better is I think Orton is so good on the mic in wrestling in front of a live audience. He just seems so robotic.
Stiff. He was very stiff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I looked up his IMDb, and he really hasn't made any other movie since, he really didn't make any movie before this. I think he might have been in one other thing. So clearly, they felt that he does not have a future in acting.
Yeah.
I think if
at the same time, Yeah.
If they let him write his own promos, I think it would be better. If they had him write his lines, I bet you it turned out so much better. But this is probably Vince McMahon writing all those freaking lines.
Oh,
they just had he had prime opportunity for like those lines, even though this is a different type of movie. It's not like even like Die Hard 3. How many people did he really kill in that movie? Right? It wasn't really that many. He was just trying to save people. So it wasn't
and they
like
were still one-liners, and they were still one-liners.
Yeah.
So he he absolutely could have done a couple of one-liners just to make his character have some kind of personality. Like he really had nothing. He was dry. Like he was just yeah.
He was only good a little bit with Tommy. That was like the only thing.
Yeah, but was it Tommy or is it him? Because I think Tommy did a good job of being such a scumbag. Like, like Tommy was good. So like I don't know if it was really like him. Like I think without Tommy, he's totally lost. Like he's just
you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
But they made their combo made it a little more enjoyable. And then like all these movies always have the old grizzly detective. In this case, it's a woman, and her first line in the movie, do you know what it is? She says it's her first two lines. She's at whatever scene it is. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, they're at the ambulance.
Yeah, the ambulance. Yeah.
And the one guy talks about like, you pulled me off the governor's case for this, and he's like, you got to see this. And she's like looking like kind of disgusted, like you're wasting my time. And then somebody says C4, and she says C4. Now you got my attention. Like,
but you know what though? I didn't mind her. I
did like her. No, she was.
I think she did good. Her partner was the worst cop ever. Like he was throwing Orton under the bus the entire without even looking at any evidence or anything else. He was so against like she was like trying to solve what's going on, and he was just like like he was just awful. Like I don't know why like they were even together.
Yeah, well, we find out later why he.
No, I know, but you know what? I thought he was like a henchman, like a real henchman. Like I know what I know he had a little money in the pocket, but I thought he was like really like a bad guy and trying to sabotage the entire thing.
That made sense.
That would have made more
sense.
Just
better. Yeah,
correct.
He needs help.
Yes,
like you made Dr. Evil. Like
clearly, he doesn't need help because he does. He does a great job by himself.
He's a great guesser.
Oh man.
It's like Orton. He's like, sometimes what you're looking for is staring right at you. And then he's like, you mean Tommy? He's like, oh, you were looking at him? Yes. Like, he's so excited about.
And again, what if Orton grabbed the girl by accident? He didn't see the tattoo and he grabbed the girl. Now he's like, he's got a hooker with him the entire way. Now the whole plan is done. Like, does he skip Does he skip a step now? Like, how does he get back to because Tommy is one of the end steps. Like his plan wasn't really thought out well. Like if a step doesn't work out, what do we do?
Who are you gonna sub it? Is there a backup?
Got nothing.
Is there?
No. His plan is my steps are gonna work. The stages are gonna work no matter what. We're gonna rely on luck, and it's gonna happen. And it happened. Yeah. There was no plan. There was no backup plan.
None. And one more thing about the lady detective was when she walks up and she's talking to the young douche detective, and she goes, "Hey, how about we, do you guys notice this camera? Let's make sure we find out if we can get the footage from it." And then the guy's like, "You guys didn't notice that?" I'm like, "It's huge. How did not anyone notice it?"
And there's nothing on the wall but the camera.
Nothing to block it. Yes.
And it's not a normal camera that you would have like, that's like surveying the parking lot. Like it's a different kind of camera. So it's totally noticeable. We kind of went over. We missed this part here at the hotel. How about the sex montage of Tommy and the girl?
Yeah,
like it was so out of the blue, and it was just going on for like a couple of minutes. Like, and then that's
Vince was on set that day for when they filmed that. Again.
It's like that meme of him in the chair, when he's he's like, that's
with Stacy Keibler. Yeah. Here's a line that was definitely, I don't know if like it was just written this way or Orton read it wrong, but he says, "If anything happens to my wife, I will fuck you up so hard."
Yes.
It's just
Yeah,
how do you even say? How do you leave that line in the movie? Like that's not even. Oh my god!
I know. And I mean, honestly, there's times when the Dr. Evil comes across like a nice guy because he keeps helping. He keeps helping him.
Yeah.
He's helping him like at least with John was it no not Jeremy Irons from Die Hard. Like he really was like if they didn't solve something, he blew something up. Like there was no penalty because I feel like they missed a couple of timelines in the stages, and he was still just like of course like there was no penalties at all throughout the whole movie.
No innocent people died. Well, I guess they couldn't afford the extras because no innocent. None of that happened.
Correct. Okay.
So ridiculous. So this is round 5 now because this is what I wrote. He picks up the glove, and then that's after he says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he goes, "There must be something inside." And then, dude, this whole thing at this point, then I was trying to figure out like who's who because I don't remember Tommy at that crash. Even though like when they do the flashback footage, I think they just showed it different, so we saw the people a lot better. But when Dr. Evil had pictures of Tommy on his computer up, and I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. And then one time they cut back, it said the governors. And then from earlier in the movie, well, not that long before, but the detective talked about, oh, it was on the governor's case. So it's like, oh, are all these things involved? Like, is that what we're going to get from this?
Is this where they go to the crash site?
They're almost there. This is when they find out hey, whose car is this? Read the registration. Right. Oh, I know her. That's my lawyer. And they go, and she's dead in the trunk. At first of all, the lady in the trunk looked nothing like his wife. Nothing. And when he opened it, he's like, oh. Yeah. And he's like, oh, my wife.
And they pulled over in the middle of nowhere on the way to the next.
And nobody stopped or anything. And it was like the cars were barely like driving.
Ridiculous. And Dr. Evil knew they pulled over. How do you see? So he randomly had a camera there too?
Or he has GPS on every single thing.
So Tommy, remember, he's on parole. He has the.
But it was turned off.
Well, it was turned off for the cops.
Yeah. Dr. Evil. He knows that he can two-way channel it, I guess.
He can tap into the cops into everybody's. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ridiculous. Okay.
Is it? Or is he the best bad guy ever?
He might be. Although his plan did fail at the end, but so what was the point of having the body in the car though? Because he didn't want them to stop and look in it. Did he just not have time to get rid of it?
Maybe. Remember, he's on such a tight time because he's a one-man show.
That is because he really he was mad they got out of the car. He was mad they were like stopped. So like he didn't. That was not part of the plan for them to see that.
That's true. No, he didn't guess that one right. But everything still worked out from that. You know what? The whole thing with just the ankle thing to me. There's so many random things like throughout this movie. It's like it should have ended because when he gets pissed off in a little bit, I know it's not too long, but while I'm thinking about it, when he gets so pissed off, he goes, "That's it, boys, turning his ankle thing back on. You guys are going to have 90 seconds to get out of there." And I'm like, wait, if he can't finish your game, it's over, right? And you don't get exactly what you want. You want him to get arrested?
And he said no cops involved in the beginning. He didn't want any cops around. So now he's bringing the cops there. And again, he has a lot of threats, but he does nothing. Like, again, he's yelling at them to get back in the car. They're taking their time. They're studying his body. They're looking like they're totally ignoring him. And there's no repercussion. Like he then they get back in the car and they go along the way. Like he really, if you miss a stage, nothing happens.
Nothing. But he was funny. This is a good line of him because when they're ignoring him and then Nick hangs up on him and then the phone rings in the woman's jacket, he opens the phone and it's Dr. Evil. And then that's when he starts getting a little angry.
So he's able to tap into anybody's phone. He can is it possible to tap into someone's phone without knowing their phone number?
No, he probably has all the numbers. He did all the research. He went to her office. He took a business card.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming this is in a matter of a year's time.
Yeah.
Right.
He was busy.
And then you figure after the accident, there was a mourning period. He had no plan at that point. So it didn't start right away in a year. So let's just say it took him 6 months to devise this plan. Get them everything in motion, have multiple kidnappings, because he kidnaps a bunch of people. He kills a bunch of people and install tons of cameras throughout the whole city in 6 months. Okay. All right.
Can you imagine? Like, that's what I want. The movie of that. Of like him hatching the plan, getting on a ladder, putting up a random camera in an alleyway. Like, there was no business there.
This is a very detailed plan. I mean, like, detailed, beyond belief. So the fact that he was able to devise this, come up with this plan, like, out of the blue, and again, how much time did he have to do all this in a year? Exactly. I want to know what his...
it would take forever.
I want to know what his first two plans were. Like, this might have been the third plan, right? But like, what was the first plan? Like, do we like just kidnap Tommy, just torture her for a month? Nah, that's not good enough. Let's what other plans do I have? Like I wonder, like, if he had multiple plans and this is the one he decided on.
He was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do 4 things to it. We'll call it 4 quarters and be like, oh, that sucks. 12 rounds. Let's do 12 rounds. Like, he wasn't even a boxing fan. Like, I would love if they gave him like these exposition speeches of just going crazy. Because he had a really good voice and delivery. He was like talking about being a boxing fan. It's just something. Like, there was just like, hey, I'm going to pick this arbitrary number and thing to do to you.
I was going to say, 12. So what's the significance of 12? Like, 12, why 12 rounds? Why not
12 jurors? Oh. He said to 12 jurors, if Tommy had stood trial, there would have been 12 jurors deciding his fate. So he's doing 12 rounds to make up for that.
But you just solved the whole movie.
You know what? This movie's Oscar nomination. Give it up.
Oh my gosh.
All so right. now we're at what you said. Now we're at the car crash when they're answering the phone. This is like very Die Hard with a Vengeance. Because he tells them where to go to, right? And then he realizes when he gets there, and this is when he tells everything. Like, Tommy killed my wife, and we get the whole flashback of everything. And dude, Nick goes nuts on Tommy. Again, Tommy's a piece of shit. Like, really?
Yeah, but what did Tommy like? So this is obviously something major that happened in Tommy's life. You don't think he would have known when he's a block away? We're near the crash site. Like, he had to walk around a little bit and say, "Hey, I recognize this place." Like, he didn't know where he was. I mean, like, he basically killed someone there. He almost died himself. You're not going to remember the area that you're in. Okay.
Wouldn't it be great if he was like going through? Man, was it like? Did I have my first kiss here? Oh no, me and my old man were fishing right over there, right? Casting out, we caught something. Oh no, I remember. I murdered a lot of people right here. So I was drinking in like a really funny flashback drinking scene where people were just giving me drinks. They were spending their hard-earned money on a $20 martini and then pouring it in my mouth randomly. He was like a celebrity when he's the governor's son.
Okay.
If he was a rock star's son, then it's like more plausible. But I don't think people are like, hey, I can't wait to go hang out with like Chelsea Clinton, like or Jenna Bush.
Those like flashback scenes were such filler. Like, they were not necessary for the movie. Like, you already know that he's a druggie, drinking all the time. Like, do you really need to see him partying and like, it was a while. Like, they showed that like club scene for a while. Like, it was just such filler. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So now we're on round 7, and this is where Dr. Evil. This is where I don't even know what round 7 was at this point, because I don't think it was just getting to that spot, right?
Well, I think they skipped 7. They went to 8.
No, I think he said, yeah, he did. He said round 7's a loss. I'm trying to think what they did. Oh, because they stopped the car maybe or something. So he turned on the anklet. So that's the first skipped one.
So the punishment is just turning the anklet on?
So the
That was the
cops are
punishment?
on him, which ruins his plan. That's the main thing. He's hurting himself by doing that. Like,
okay, wait a second. We skipped a whole lot of stuff, by the way, at the hotel. How about the guy,
go on.
the security guard?
Oh,
Big
the guy
boss
you
man?
couldn't see his face?
Big boss.
I thought it would have been.
Big boss
Was
man,
it?
yeah.
Was it him or no? Oh
No.
because I was wondering because it was a big guy, so I thought it maybe was another wrestler, you know. But yeah, I mean, like the fact that Tommy had a chance to escape, and he still couldn't. While he's fighting this guy, he was still able to catch up to Tommy.
Well, he probably still had time on the hooker,
Tommy
right?
chose to run past him.
Yeah.
And not run out any other exit. Which I don't
Okay,
know if there's other
right.
ones, but he ran right into him, and then Randy Orton tackled him.
Is this where they escaped all the cops that surrounded the hotel? Was it what building was it where all the cops surrounded everywhere, and somehow they were able to? Oh,
Parking deck. Parking deck. I think that was a little later.
Oh,
right?
the parking.
Yeah, that's
okay,
the
okay,
next
all right.
scene.
All right,
That's like the
all right,
next
we're not
one
there
after
yet.
the
Okay,
anklet's
okay.
turn on. Yeah.
Okay.
But no,
okay.
that big guy, that fight scene was so ridiculous because, again, like Randy Orton was just. I get it. You have to show that he's just like this normal guy, but guess what? He's not a normal guy. He's like
No, he's not a normal guy.
He's jacked. He's
You know
like
what?
Chiseled.
But
No,
he is a wimp because even at the fight scene in the car later on, the guy's driving with one hand and he's holding Randy Orton down with one other hand by his neck, and Orton can't get up. Like so, he's really like he's like an average Joe. That's 6'5", 240 pounds. That's all.
Oh man, but when they get surrounded, man, when they're just, oh my god. So this is like the only clip. I hope it comes through.
Wait, are you going
Yes.
to the parking garage?
No, it's not even when they're at the parking garage. It's when it was actually kind of funny when Tommy was like, "Good man, you're gonna make the right decision," and then Randy Orton, because he thought Randy Orton was gonna like get out of the car, and then he just starts backing up. But no, even before that, I forgot about the other part when the two cops, when he beats up the cop.
Oh,
Except all of the cops. All of them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's not jail. Like I don't care for what reason you're assaulting police officers. I mean,
he manhandles them easily.
Oh,
easily manhandles all
easily
6, 7
manhandles
cops.
2 cops, but he can't get out of a chokehold while a guy's driving, a car, because he does fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, and how does Tommy get out of the restraint?
I don't know.
Because his hands were tied or zip tied, yet he was running, and somehow as he started running, his hands came free.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I just don't. I thought at first. I don't know if you guys thought this. I thought they were part of his plan because still at this point, I thought some people must be helping him. It was just so convenient that Tommy's running and the cops are parked there.
Yeah. Again, more luck. This guy, Dr. Evil, relied on luck throughout his whole plan was devised on luck. Everything has to happen that way or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And yes, when he's surrounded by the cops, he drives in reverse for a long time. This scene almost looked like a demolition derby. It was literally like he was crashing to one car, the other car crashed into him. He was spinning in circles. The other car. I'm so glad you have this.
Definitely seatbelts.
Yeah. This is so silly. This is the first group of cops that surround him. But look at the turn, like when he does like this little like whip turn, like 180, they're barely moving. Like right now, they're not moving.
And what road are they on that's that long? Because there's no other cars around. Where are the other cars?
And they're in New York too. They're in New York City. Remember that.
Yeah.
This is not Demolition Derby. This is Demolition.
This is the movie theater room. This is where everybody parks to go to the movie theater.
Oh, there's a random car.
Yeah.
But, like, why is he not, like, wait, so where are the cops right now?
Oh, this is the best part.
No, but where are the cops right now? He didn't go anywhere.
He
just hit one.
Yeah. They're worried about the tracking device, but they're in a cop car.
They're in a cop car, right.
Yeah, that is true.
And, again, how did he get a loan away from because literally a second before that, he hits another car. Did they just stop? And they're like, all right, forget it. This is going nowhere.
It's Mario Kart. The balloons went away. They got hit twice, and the car is out of the game. But you're right. Yeah, it's like all of them were like, and they're like gone forever.
They're
Because
gone.
you're right. They were able to, and not even he stopped driving for
It
Tommy
was-
to try to
it
pour
was a
water
second.
on his anklet.
And right, Andrew, you're 100% right. He's in a cop car. They could track every cop car. So why does the anklet make a difference?
Yeah. That's so true.
man.
All they do is one call. Hey, he's in one of our cars. That's it. Oh, so dumb,
dumb.
man.
Yeah. So okay, so
Unbelievable.
he just assaulted how many cars? He stole a cop car, and now he crashed into multiple cop cars. These are tons of felonies just right there. So
Yeah.
okay.
And what does he get at the end? Maybe like a accommodation from the city? That'd be good, right?
Unbelievable.
A civilian. This isn't even like a cop. This is like a civilian. $10 million in damage. But his wife's alive. Oh, okay, we're good.
And what did that say about the cops that he just basically had at least three cops cars, maybe four, on him, and he was able to get away?
You're gonna
Like,
be in my office at 6 a.m. Monday. We're practicing.
He just got all those cops fired because they easily he was like, there's no way he should have been able to escape that.
He gets away. Nothing.
He does.
Like just
He does.
But I do love that. The only thing I do think that's funny about the scene is when he thinks like, oh wow, this is great. I got away from like 5 cop cars, and then they drive for a little bit, and they're surrounded by 50.
And how far? Again, I think you're right. I think the city is very small. So how far that they and those 50 cop cars were stopped, right? Like they were like waiting for him.
Oh yeah.
How'd they know he was going to go there? How'd they know that he was going to go there? That road.
Well, they're good guessers too. I guess. The cops are
All
good
right.
guessers.
So this is where he goes to the parking garage, correct?
Well,
Sure.
no, before
Parking
that,
garage,
this is
yep.
when he repeats over and over and over again. He says, "This can't end now. This can't end now. This can't end now." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I think we should get out." And he's, and then he just keeps going.
Okay, so this can't end now. So let me drive into a parking lot that doesn't have a way down.
Yeah,
Like, wouldn't that be the ending? Like, of all the places to go with your car, like you're gonna go up a place where once you go up there, oh, that's it. I mean, it's gonna end. There's no other way you can get out of this. Like, why would you think that's the best option you have? Like, I want to know what was going through his mind. That all right, we're gonna drive up the top of this parking garage, and then Tommy goes, and then I don't know.
that's it.
I didn't think that far. I didn't think that far ahead. I just.
But how about that they're shooting at them so much? Like at this point, they're not even accused of murder. They think he might be involved with like his ambulance blowing up. But even at this point, the woman, I don't know if it's just before this, the woman sees the footage. She goes, "Oh, that doesn't look like somebody that's." He
Right,
looks
'cause
like he's talking to somebody. Like
he's staring at the camera, so he kept staring at the camera.
But no,
Right.
at this point, they're shooting at their car. The pieces are flying off the cop car. And then once they're away, once he's able to somehow survive that and do the 180, she goes, "Okay, guys, hold your fire."
How did she get up there so fast?
Oh yeah, I don't get that. Did she run through the elevator? And again, how did she know? Again, I know it's a parking garage, so you can only go so far.
Well, yeah,
but
right.
She was just there, and that's what made them stop. They were just getting fired up by like 50 cops. But one woman put a gun point at it. Oh, I'm getting out.
Wouldn't you bring back up? What did she bring back up? Like, hey, you guys, come with me. Like she just went up by herself as a lone wolf. But yeah, like you go to a parking garage, those elevators take forever to get to the floor you're at. So, and it moves very slow. There's no way she got up there almost faster than the car did.
Yeah. We skipped over how this movie might or might not have taught bad guys how to turn off their ankle bracelets. He's got to use a stun gun on it and make sure you don't move.
I wonder if that would work.
I bet you if somebody has tried that after they watch this movie.
Well, if you could find the 5 people that watched it, hopefully one of them has an ankle bracelet.
Well, the three are us. So the other 2, maybe there's a felon in there. But no, it was just so like, oh, they turned it off. That's great. But then this part when he shoots the thing, I wrote like we mentioned earlier, I wrote, does he have a military background? How would he nail this first shot? But what's even crazier is within seconds, she's like, okay, I believe you. Here's my cell phone. She like gives him within no time.
She easily would bring him to at least the station to talk to him. Like, not like you're gonna believe the first thing he says. You know, again, that makes no sense at all. Like, there's no way.
She did have a hunch. I mean, all throughout it, when everyone's throwing him under the bus, and she's like, "Nah, I don't think so." Right? Like, she's like, a regular EMT wouldn't be able to do all this.
Yeah, but again, Andrew, this guy just destroyed how many cop cars?
Oh, and beat the shit of all the cops.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, so like,
fuck them. No. She didn't care about him. She could care less about him.
And you're gonna give him a gun?
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
She's like, "Who's this tall glass of water?"
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. See, but so here's my thing. So we had 50 cop cars outside. You would think they would be surrounding the entire parking lot. How do they escape on, like, it looked like there was absolutely not one person in that alley. Or
it seemed like it was the biggest parking garage ever, because if you remember the young detective, you go to the south exit, you go to the west exit, you're staying with me, and I'm like, okay.
And it took him a while to get up there, so it was pretty big. But somehow they didn't cover that side where he was able to. There's an alley right behind the parking lot. First of all, like a little alley, and not one cop there. Like, you had 50. You could have held hands and probably circled the entire parking lot, and that would, like, you would have covered your entire base.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, the next round I was very interesting, because this is the only time you really thought. Because I think even at this part, we didn't know about the other future people that are going to die and how their connection was. But this is the part where you're like, oh man, what could happen? It's like kind of like a mystery, because he's like, this round's for Tommy only, and he like gives Tom, he's on the phone, and we heard the beginning of the conversation, which was cool that they did that, and then they cut to when Nick and the detective were talking, and then Tommy, we saw him still talking, but we couldn't hear anything, and that made me think like, oh, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna turn on him like right now? It was really shady, because Tommy changed his character, the way he was talking and everything.
Yep. Yeah.
And they go to his dad's, the governor's sugar factory.
Why'd they go there? Like, what was the clue to go there?
He probably just said, "Hey, moron, go to the sugar factory." Because that guy's not figuring out a riddle.
Okay. Because I half these clues, I had no idea why they're going there. They just somehow got, I got lost in half of these clues because I couldn't follow along. I don't know how they did.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Maybe he was like, okay, drug addict, here's a little rhyming game. Booger. And he said sugar. And he's like, oh man, I would love some cocaine. And then he was like, your dad's factory, you moron. And I love that. It was like closed down, right? That was the line. He goes, yeah, I used to come here when I was a kid all the time. Has been open in ages. But Dr. Evil got sugar, like, shipped in there for just tonight. Tons of it.
And all the machines work. Like, if it hasn't been used for ages.
You know what? Like, I think anyone, you could probably be the dumbest person and know the way a conveyor belt works. If he would have just stuck it in one of them, it would have like stopped the whole thing, because it would have got like stuck and then nothing would happen. He's just trying to like break this box the whole time. And I love that he left that
twice,
right?
Twice.
Yes.
He
could have dug him out super quick, two of them. He goes, I'm going to go try to figure out how to turn this thing off.
Which he failed the first time. And then something told him to go outside and find a truck that had the keys in it already.
I know.
That was working.
That's working.
That started right up.
But the keys are there. I mean, like, of course, again, this factory has been used in years, but somehow that truck has the keys just sitting there for anyone to grab. And I didn't know that if you raise the shovel part of the truck, it stops the machine because the sugar stopped falling. As soon as he put it's a great idea to slow it down, but there was no more sugar falling at that point. Okay.
Wait, did they steal the truck already, or was that right after this when they broke the back windshield and he hotwired it? Or that's how they got here? That's how they got
there. Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
So he knew how to hotwire also.
He knows that. Yes. He said, it was a troubled youth. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Great. that where you learn the demolition derby and shooting guns at like a very high accuracy, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god. So this scene's actually pretty badass, I think. This really showed the guy, like, because this is when he reveals himself. Like, I don't even, in between this and then is when he's gone, right? This is where we see him only on a balcony. He has to leave his lair.
He has his wife now. So again, at what point during, because every time, because throughout the movie we saw conversations that he had with them on the phone, and we kept going back and forth to the lair. The wife was nowhere. She was still at the house. So when did he have time to go get her in between the camera going to his lair and seeing him staring at these TVs? Yeah. Like there was not one point throughout the whole movie that he wasn't looking at the TVs. Not one.
No. Well, so the only other time was when he was on the like when she mentioned, "Oh, we were able to trace whatever the IP address." Andrew, do you remember? Was it like they traced one of the cameras or something? I forget what it was, but
they traced.
They were able to get an address.
Yeah. They traced his location where they thought he was at.
I would say the only time that he wasn't in contact was when they were driving the park in the garage, right? Because then there was just, I don't think that he was. So one, he didn't know that, did he know where they were at that point? Because I don't think there was no communication, right? So was that the time that he's like, all right, I gotta book it now, and he jumped in his car, ran, like drove to his house. It's like ridiculous.
He's out of breath, Nick.
What if his lair? What if he's like the next door neighbor? What if they like the next door neighbor?
It seems like everything's within like a block radius. Like it seems like, yeah.
They make it look like it's in a cave, like in a James Bond kind of cave, the way he is. But it could probably be the guy's upstairs house. Like they only showed the one area. They didn't show any other area of the lair.
Well, I was just going. The only thing I was going by was like the puddles on the floor. It seemed like it was like we didn't see exactly where it was. But when they got there, right? Isn't that when?
Is the lair in the sugar factory?
No.
So then he also had time to get there.
Yeah. No, the lair is where the other guy was. The guy that he glued the gun to his hands. That was the lair.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I do love when he calls Nick. This is after they just saved the governor. And this is when Nick is like kind of fed up and he talks shit to him. And he's like, why don't we talk face to face? I'd love to see what kind of coward you're, something like that. And then I know where he's on the catwalk. And again, Tommy survived his round, which just happens to him twice. He wins round 8. And then Dr. Evil still shoots his dad in the chest. And then I love that he's still talking. How does it feel, Tommy? And then he shoots him again.
Yeah. And again, like this guy's an IT guy, right? Or whatever. He's good with computers, obviously. So, I mean, for the most part, and I don't mean to, if anyone's listening, they're IT people, but they're on a nerdy side. They like the computer stuff and everything. This guy is able to shoot a gun, no problem. He's able to manhandle multiple people and kidnap them. He's an IT guy. Like I want to know his backstory. Like, was he ex-CIA? Was he because he does way too much than just being a computer nerd, right? What's his backstory? Because
are you asking for a cinematic universe that starts with a prequel of Dr. Evil?
I'm just saying he could be like a James Bondish kind of guy. I want to know his backstory.
He is good because I scrolled down on my notes. One thing that we forgot is when Andrew mentioned it before, like the judge, which is so dumb. They shaved I think the judge in the flashbacks was bald anyway, but it seemed like they bicked a little bit more to look like Dr. Evil because they had a photo of him. And they are all pointing a gun at this guy that walks out, and the guy's not talking. And then the young detective shoots him, and then everybody starts shooting. And the girl's like, "Hold your fire!" Like, what the hell is happening?
It reminded me of Police Academy when they were in that store, and then I think it was like Sweet Chuck shot one.
In the lamp store, yeah,
the lamp store, and everybody started shooting. It's like just because of the one person shot.
but it was just so silly. And then this is what Dr. Evil does that's so great was even this is how the scene starts. He calls the detective's phone. So then Nick answers it thinking it's going to be that. And his first line before he reveals himself was, "Hey, the police just took care of round 9 for you."
So he was banking on a police officer shooting and not making sure
someone.
that, kill someone. So like, again, another like, this has to happen, and there's no like I think every stage was a guess. I don't think there was one sure thing.
Yeah. Because he had to guess that the young detective, when he's on FaceTime with them, he's on a Zoom conference, he reveals that the young detective I love that there was footage of the guy putting the evidence that was clearly labeled evidence into a paper shredder. And you know what's funny? It wasn't like movie footage. Like it wasn't like us. Hey, let's film the scene. It was like a weird Dutch angle, like on a desk, and he was like, "Yes."
And did it say evidence? Just said evidence on it. Yeah. Like it didn't say like evidence for what case or whatever. It just said the word evidence.
It was a prop folder that they got at the dollar store or something. It was just so silly. And then this is the same thing because Dr. Evil's wife was pretty attractive. He knew that this young detective would be like horny for a photo and pick up the digital thing and stare and stare and stare until it blew up and turned into a bomb. It went from a photo to start counting backwards from 5.
Again, so he's an explosion expert. He's a computer expert. He's obviously could shoot well, so
Mr.
he's a marksman.
Yep.
So like, but he's an IT guy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
God, and then just before this, it's so weird. All this thing, it happens so fast within 5 minutes. Tommy turns on Randy Orton, even though, hey, Dr. Evil just killed your dad right in front of you.
I was going to say, why?
In the back of the neck.
Why would he, at this point, what does he have to lose? I mean, like, wouldn't you want his help? Like, he just killed your dad. So why are you still listening to him? Like, hey, listen, the way Tommy acts the rest of the movie, because he literally laughs in Dr. Evil's face later on. Like, he doesn't help his case at all. Like, it made no sense that he turned on him.
Yeah, I know.
Unless it would work. It would work if his father was still alive, right?
Yeah.
Then I could see it. But the fact that he killed his father, it just makes no sense why he's listening to the bad guy.
Yeah, and his round is good. Round 11. So what was round 10? Round 9 was round 10 him murdering his dad, like shooting the governor. It makes no sense. Round 9 was the judge. What was 10?
And round 10 was the shooting. Yeah, shooting his father.
Or was 10 Tommy tasering Nick? Maybe.
Well, yes, because that's his round. Or
he gets a lot of rounds. He saved his dad in round 8, and then his dad died. But then he has 10
the phone
and then
call
11s for him.
What was the phone call? 7?
The phone call was after 7. Phone call was after 7. That was the day.
So 7. Okay, so round 7.5 was when he got the phone call for a future. So like you combine 7.5 with 9.5, and that makes a full round because 9.5 is when he that he tases Nick. Okay.
Yeah, and then round 11 is his own, and we never utter do they utter the words 12th round, or does he say this is the last round?
No, well, the 12th round would have been him. So okay. So are we in the car at this point?
No, we're not. But I'm saying,
okay.
But I'm saying, wouldn't that have made sense? This whole movie is led up to, let's announce rounds. You're in this round. We do this round. Would he say, "Hey Nick, this is the last round"? I don't know if
I thought he said final round. I think he said final round. I think he said final round.
Final round.
Yeah.
But so back to the oh my god, dude. When again, the chance that his plans are getting bad because he gives this guy a 50-50 shot. Here are 2 bottles of your favorite alcoholic beverage. Okay,
first of all, like Tommy's acting. First of all, they both had the poison in there or whatever. Like, there's no way.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Oh, neither one had it?
No, I think one did and one didn't. That's why when Tommy started drinking, he was like, look.
Yeah, I know that.
And then he was like, I'm alive. I survived. And then that's when he got pissed
Yeah,
off
but I
and he
don't-
dumped
I-
it all over him.
Wait a second. Yeah, but I don't know if poison happens you right away like that. I mean,
I don't
you know,
think so either. But
right. So
the way Dr. Evil reacted, he was like, shit, I guessed wrong.
he was going to shoot him anyway. I mean, but would you're sitting in that chair, you're at this point, like, would you like mock the guy that has a gun to your face the way Tommy was? Like, he's laughing, I win. Like, why would you do that? You know, I mean, like, you're only going to get him more angry. You know, so yeah.
I'd be such a wuss. Like, I could sit here and say, like, man, I'd be so tough. I'd be talking shit to him. I'd be like, please don't.
You know what? I would pretend I died from the poison.
Oh, wait. No, that'd be great. You do that. And then the bad guy's like, oh, that's great. I'm a little thirsty. And then he drinks it.
Well,
and he dies.
Or he goes, that's funny because there was no poison in there.
And you're like, I know you're faking. I know you're faking.
See, that would be a scary movie moment. That's
I would be. They should do that. Like, I think they have done Brian Thompson, the great bad guy and so much. I remember he directed one that was, I guess, sort of like that. That'd be good if they did like a command, like I guess Last Action Hero did that. Like Arnold did that in the face of it, like being really silly. But that'd be really funny. Hey, I didn't even poison that. Hey, I barely punched you.
And he's trying to see if he's sleeping, like he's dead or faking it. So he's like gets a feather, tries tickling him, or he does all these different.
That is good, man.
That was
that whole
step,
thing, man. I love that. How about the part of this movie or in the 6-month lead up of this that Dr. Evil like went to the club that Tommy was drinking at and then left Murder's wife to steal the sign or purchase the sign or have to go to someone and with a picture of the sign and be like, hey, can you make this sign?
How do you know what club Tommy went to?
Oh, I'm sure it was in the court case. They probably said, oh, where were you coming from?
Okay. My guess is Tommy probably went to multiple places that night.
He was everywhere.
He doesn't seem
that.
I was say he doesn't seem the type to just hang out in one place the entire night. So he just randomly said, you know what? You know, even if Tommy went to 4 clubs, he just picks the one that he wants to go to and kill that valet. Like, you know, like what if, you know, like, I mean, you know, because again, that whole thing, like, how would you know what valet's working that day? He that much detail to find out that day, that hour, this is the valet, and you know.
Or what if the valet was on the schedule, but he didn't show up, and another guy was the one that let him go? So this guy got murdered. This guy got murdered. He didn't even go to work that night.
You know what? Dr. Evil doesn't care. He just became a serial killer, and it doesn't matter who's killing.
He needed the rounds. He needed to fill the rounds. That's what he needed.
It doesn't matter.
He only could fill up 9 rounds because he gave away a few. The cops were able to do one. He's skipping rounds. He's like, you know, can we just get this over with? Wouldn't it be funny after the 6th round? He's like, guys, let's just go to the end. Can we just get in the car?
If you think about it, this is probably the most impressive plan by a villain ever. Like the fact that he did it all by himself. He relied on everybody to fall like to work perfectly, and the plan worked perfectly. Like this is the best plan I think I've ever seen a villain do.
Yeah. Okay. No, you know what? He should be on like the Mount Rushmore. Like, but again, what does he do wrong? Just like every bad guy, you can have the greatest plan so elaborate, took him like 6 months to plan out, but the bomb's going to take 2 minutes to go off. It's a lot of time that Randy Orton, who's not only a little scrawny guy, and you use just zip ties. You can't put other things around him, chain him to the seat, use what they did use at the end of Jason Lives, like big giant chains.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I'm just going to use this. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Or get an SUV that has like a thing to block or drive a limo. So then he can't jump through.
No way. Correct. But they don't think ahead. They don't. Like again, like why did he have to wait that long? Like at that point, like there was way too much chatter. Like if his end plan was to like kill them, why did he wait so long? Just do it right away with the car. Like you could have crashed so many different times. And all right, we got to talk about this whole car thing because this entire scene is like so ridiculous.
What do you mean that he has a thing that he installed in the car that is a smiley face when he turns the bomb on?
Well, I was talking about more the fact that, one, I already mentioned the fact that this guy's driving with one hand and holding Randy Orton down with the other hand, and Randy Orton's like swinging like this. And he can't even get out. But the fact that Randy Orton does break through the ties, but he shoots the back door off. How did that happen? He shot twice, like as if there's like two hinges that are holding the back door off, and he nailed both of them, and the entire door flew off.
And he hit the glass. That's all he do is shoot the glass.
Is that possible? The whole door to fall off? Right.
No.
Okay. So you got that. Then you got the fact that, okay, this car is going, 80 miles an hour? And you're telling me, one, he rolls out before his wife does. How did he know the wife's going to get a chance to do that? Number one. First of all, I almost think you're going to die. You're rolling out of a car 80 miles an hour. You're landing on your face, your back. Like, you're not surviving that. I mean, or if you are, you're going to be mangled. Like, that's, but he did it without his, like, you would think he'd send his wife first, jump, honey, jump. And then you go.
Yeah, because what if she doesn't jump? It's like jumping off a train or jumping something that's moving. What if you're like,
Or what if again, he left her in the car with a serial killer? I mean, literally, like, the guy could have just, like, drove off with her. Like, yeah. So that was selfish.
Yeah, they were going 80, but when they did that stunt scene, they were going 7. Because they rolled out so casually.
So casual, and not one mark on them at the end of the movie.
No.
Like, nothing. Like, no ripped clothes. You would think, like, something like that, again, you're going to have some damage. Nothing.
Yeah.
And not only that, they were smiling at the end of the movie. Like, again, I mean, obviously the car's in a crash, it blows up, and the guy's in. Which, was that his plan to die with it? Like, the crash? Was that
he
part
wanted
of it?
to die. He wanted to die.
Okay, so he wanted to die. Okay, so that was the final round. Okay, well, so then he wins. He did do the final round. He died in the car. Okay, but the fact that again, multiple people died throughout this movie, multiple crashes and damages throughout the whole city, and the cop, the woman cop, Nick and his wife, and they're all smiling.
Oh, I know.
Like it's a happy ending. Like, this is great. Like, you literally there's probably about 8 deaths in the whole movie, and like how many things are destroyed? The city's gonna have to pay for it, everything else.
Big tax bill. It's gonna be pushed down onto the middle class,
and nothing. And this guy's not getting punished at all for anything.
No, and I do another great, he had some opportunities, some great lines, and this is one where he really delivered Dr. Evil. Like, I thought all of his lines were great, but just one-liner wise, she says, "Go fuck yourself," and he goes, "Honey, that's exactly what I intend to do." And then that's when he pressed the button that put a smiley face. But the thing that was very disappointing with all of his technology, I was hoping when the bomb went off, it turned into like a frowny face. But it just turned red. So it was still smiling, but red versus blue.
And again, why the timer? Like, you mentioned that. Like, if you have the capability to blow something up, like, do it right now. Jump out and whatever. Like, jump out with the receiver and then push it when you're out of the car. Like, why do you need a timer on it?
So the only explanation is because, remember, he called 911 and he advised them that there's going to be an accident coming up very soon.
Yeah.
So
he gave him a heads up. Yeah.
So we gave him 2 minutes to get to that intersection, assuming there's no traffic, assuming that he can get there in 2 minutes. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. That he was planning.
Okay, you know what? I think you're right there. I think he wanted to give the ambulance time to get there. You're right.
Or he wanted the ambulance people to blow up because he was going to tell them to be there, and then they were going to pull past
and he was going to look.
What ambulance is going to drive? Listen to a 911 call where someone says there's going to be an accident. Okay, there's no accident. So why would the ambulance even leave? Like, there's obviously some crazy guy calling. I would assume the police are going to show up. There's a crazy guy or something, but yeah. Okay.
The lady detective's there. She's there. She's watching the whole thing.
Where was she that she got there that fast? Like,
well, no, I mean, again, she pulls her car next to him and disrupts it a little bit.
Yeah. How? Like, how'd you know where to go? Ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
And that was that. Again, you're right. The movie definitely did go fast, I guess. There was just not a lot going on. This is the shortest notes in almost 5 years doing this. This is like the shortest that I've ever had.
Well, think about it. There's basically 4 characters, right? I mean, we're not including all the dead ones, that we see them, but there's 5 characters, including the wife. You got the 2 cops, you have Nick, you have the Dr. Evil, and the wife. That's it. Like, there's no other characters, and you're only really looking at 3 characters throughout the whole movie. So what else is going on? Like, there's nothing outside of the whole movie takes place in this car, basically.
And they did the big reveal in the middle of the movie too.
Which is kind of weird.
They put the puzzle together, right after like 6, 7, and then there's still another 45 minutes left of the movie. You're like,
and not only that, like they like you said before, they were showing the villain just like from the legs, then they show the back of him, like as if it's going to be like a surprise later on.
Mm-hmm.
No, 2 seconds later they show his whole face. Like they were leading as if it's going to be someone, nothing. So you knew who the villain was right off the bat. You knew then you knew the story right off the whole reason for it right in the middle. There's no excitement. Like, it's nothing, like there's no suspense ending at the end of the movie. Like, you know how it's going to end.
Yeah. It's funny? I was going to use another reference to name him the whole movie, but I thought it'd be very dated. But I think he might have looked more like him, Paul Schaefer.
That is pretty dated.
But I don't think people would get that reference.
No, they wouldn't. That's pretty funny though.
Because he had like the face of him, like they look like worms. They look like if worms were people.
Wait, worms?
Yeah,
wait, you're saying the guy, the main villain looks like a worm?
Sort of. Have you ever seen like how creepy the Alice in Wonderland, like the early 90s, like Disney movie?
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
caterpillar, maybe.
Wasn't there a video game about a worm, Earthworm Jim?
Earthworm Jim. How's that not a movie yet? Sonic's doing good.
How about
Super
Booger
Mario
Man?
Brothers.
Do you remember Booger Man?
I remember Booger Man. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna get a movie.
I would see that.
But Earthworm Jim, I would see. Nicolas Cage as Earthworm Jim, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
He'd do it. But yeah, so that was 12 rounds to reload it. We'll go with our action sequel expert guest. So I think we talked about like the movie throughout, like how we liked it. So I'll ask you that, of course. Would you recommend somebody watch it? But what was your like favorite part of the movie? Take it away, Andrew.
So the favorite part of the movie was definitely Tommy burning. I thought that was a great death. It was cool. I wish they left that to the end though. But no, I like that it was short. It was action packed. Would you like the 6 degrees of Charles Bronson for this movie?
Yes, I would love that.
Yes. So the relationship to Randy Orton to Charles Bronson is Sebastian Spence. Sebastian Spence is the governor. The governor was in Family of Cops with Charles Bronson. Family of Cops, 1995 TV movie. So there we go. That's the time.
And you know what? That's why you're on a podcast right now for action movies. Okay, for facts like that.
I was going to go in depth. I thought he was going to be like, okay, and then this guy was he was a guest spot on Different Strokes with Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman used to know this guy that lived down the street from my uncle. And it was like, yeah, 2 steps.
2 steps, is it? Quick.
That's interesting. That's great. That's great that a guy that was in Family of Cops is still acting.
I don't know. I don't know if still. I mean, when did this movie come out?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, 13, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So considering that we haven't seen the Dr. Evil and anything else, and I'm assuming the judge is probably like, this movie is the killer. Orton hasn't made a movie in a while, since then.
Yeah.
So this movie just killed everybody. It's done.
That's why it's so amazing with like The Rock and John Cena and Batista, because it's hard. A lot of guys have had that shot, but it just didn't work out.
No, Kane has done a few. I think Edge was in but no, those
Edge
3 guys.
Edge was in Money Plane that came out like 2 years ago.
He was in a couple things, but I think those guys. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, but I think Batista is great. I think it's very, very funny.
Yeah,
and I think But yeah, all right.
So Jamie, would you recommend this movie? Which I think I know the answer to that. But did you have like a favorite like takeaway?
I would say besides the movie ending, that was one of my favorite parts. No, not recommended. And if I had to pick, I would say maybe the fight scene with the big boss man. You know, um, I don't know. I'm reaching. There's, I mean,
There wasn't
there's
a
really
lot.
not.
There was opportunities.
No, there
for
wasn't.
that. It's like there wasn't. There should have been more fight. I think the lack of henchmen ruined that because you don't have those people he can go against.
Well, that's what it is, right? I mean, I would like to see him do like some kind of domino effect and like just take out other people. I would honestly, when he was fighting the big boss man, I was waiting for an RKO.
Yeah, I know. They should have thrown that in there.
Like
or
that would have been like
kind of move.
No, but I mean, at least that listen, what's his name? Stallone did a suplex in Rocky 5. So there's no reason why he could have easily done it. And I think people would have like appreciated it. I think it would have been funny like to do in that scene when he was fighting that guy.
That'd be pretty good. And so our guy, Heller,
you didn't
is his real name.
What? You didn't answer the question.
I'm gonna, but I'm saying while I have it up, Brian Markinson is the actor. Busy guy. He was in Godzilla. He was in like the recent one.
With King Kong?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Not that one. But no, he was just in Painkiller, the miniseries.
Okay.
7 episodes on Mad Men. So yeah, he was on a lot of stuff. Mayor of Kingstown.
Okay, I saw that.
Look at that, man. Good for him. I liked him. Yeah, no, I would not recommend this movie at all. And I would say probably my I don't know. Again, there were so many opportunities that we could have had things, and man, I would say just Dr. Evil himself, because I really think for a terrible script, a person, a scene partner, even though it's not like they're really talking on the phone, that just didn't give it back. Like he just wasn't. Maybe if Randy Orton was a different actor, if he was just like, I know we talked about this so many times, my favorite type of action movies are the accidental action, the guy that doesn't know anything. He just seemed like he knew how to do too much, maybe because he was jacked. Maybe that's why.
I think you're right. I think if you take the guy who played the villain and same kind of character and you put him in a different movie, he would stand out so much more. And I think because of the movie that it is, he can't get as much credit because it just does. But I agree. I think he did do a good job. I thought he was believable. He was he played a good villain. It just the story was awful. Like the whole story was awful. So. All right.
Die with vengeance. That's exactly what it was. So Andrew, thank you for coming back, and we got to make sure we need more action for the next one. That's what we got to do. But thanks, Andrew. So the next sequel that we're going to be covering, this one was a lot of fun. I talked with actor James Dumont. This guy, like a lot of times when we do these, this was one that there's this PR guy that has hooked us up with some really cool people. So I looked at James' IMDb, and you can only tell a story. You can see, they're in this, they're in that. But just the fact that he grew up he went to high school in Chicago with everyone. John Cusack, all those people were auditioning for the same roles. And that's how he got his first big job, was on a movie that he got beat out by Andrew McCarthy. It was that Class movie with Rob Lowe. Like he was going out for and he's like, man, this freaking guy from New Jersey is the guy that they hired, not even like the Chicago guy. Man, his credits are unreal. We're going to be covering, he was in Jurassic World, but most people probably know him. If you saw Candy Cane Lane, the new Eddie Murphy Christmas movie, he's in that. But his big thing is playing Chad on the Righteous Gemstones. And really cool little thing is his son's on the show. And he told me this awesome story about Danny McBride walking into him and his son's trailer and say, man, this is so great, man. I got 2 Dumont boys on my show. And he's like, dude, you're Danny McBride. That's the cool part of this whole thing. So yeah, some cool stories. He teaches how do people do self-tapes. So when COVID happened, he was like ready for it. Even though it did obviously slow down his work, he was really good at doing that. So he was able to hone his own business, helping people out. Because it's hard to do it without having a director or cast director say, hey, try it this way. So no, a lot of good stuff. And we talked right when the strike was ending. So he had some really cool perspective on a lot of things. So so that'll be fun. So Jurassic World, that'll be a good one.
I don't know if I saw it. I mean, this is one with Chris Pratt. or no? Or this is one of the old ones?
No, Chris Pratt. This is the first Chris Pratt.
Oh, this is the first. This is the first one he did.
This is the first one. Yes, this is
Okay,
like
so
this is years after Jurassic 3. And,
Okay,
yeah.
because I know I saw that one, and then he made like three other ones. I might have saw the second one. I didn't see the third one. So, but this is a good one, I think. Right? Wasn't this
this is
pretty
like
good?
the first one because it's the
Yeah.
beginning. So the park, it's a music park, and
Okay.
good cast too, like really funny people in it. So yeah. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast, follow us on all social media at Sequels Only, and don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.